So here are two things in the music that will make you rethink what made Inception so great. So I want you to imagine, on one end of a scale, Morgan Freeman's chocolatey smooth voice, and on the opposite end, there's nails on a chalkboard or bones breaking, in terms of sounds that really get under your skin, that really impact you. Now, obviously, there are some sounds that can still get under your skin, but aren't so extreme like nails on a chalkboard that it would put you off, but also not so smooth that it would put you in a meditative state.
And soon, we can see the entire planet, our home in space.
And Hans Zimmer used instruments all around this spectrum for the soundtrack, but he did something very interesting somewhere around here.
I booked the craziest, biggest brass section I think ever assembled in a studio.
He used one of the biggest brass sections for any soundtrack in movie history. Now, brass instruments include things like the trombone, the tuba, the trumpet, French horn, and other instruments. 6
bass trombones, 6 tenor trombones, 4 tubas in the middle, and 6 French horns above. The force when they were really blowing, it's a physical force, it hits you.
So why is this important, and why should you even care, and how does it affect you? Well, imagine you're standing beside somebody playing the piano, and regardless of whether they're playing loud or soft, even if it's impacting you emotionally, on the scale from chocolatey smoothness to, stuff that really gets under your skin that impacts you biologically, it's going to be around here. Again, even if it impacts you emotionally versus a trombone, if you're standing beside a trombone and they play really loud, it will impact your body. Like, you will feel yourself shake. But the point is, if you stack an entire brass section around here and you make it literally
the biggest brass section I think ever assembled in a studio,
it's gonna pack a punch. To illustrate quickly, let's watch a scene where the brass comes out very strongly and it goes, and see how that makes you feel. Very powerful. Now let's see what happens if we take away that really strong brass part and see if it changes how it feels. So it's still awesome. I mean, let's be honest, but it didn't pack that same punch, did it? And the way they really let that brass part shine through and they mixed that music really allowed it to dig inside of us and shake us and punch us in the face, so to speak. Now, the second thing that they did was give it a really cool, modern, edgy feel with the guitar. So even though there is a symphony behind it, that guitar modern sort of feel would be out of place in a movie like Lord of the Rings, for example. not what Lord of the Rings is about. It's not modern, it's ancient. And vice versa, if we got something from Lord of the Rings and put it in Inception, we would get something like... I mean, it would still sound epic, obviously, but it would miss that sense of that cool, edgy, modern sound. And from the sounds of it, it's really hard to pull off because, as Zimmer explains...
And I was thinking, this is sort of a hideous thing that happens when you have guitars and orchestra.
But in Inception, it was perfectly done. So those are the two things. Number one, the brass section and how it shone through. Really got inside of me and shook me. And number two, that really unique, modern, edgy guitar feel. Those two things made Inception go emotionally from a 9 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 for me. Even though most of us may not have noticed it and just experienced it at a subconscious and emotional level in the theaters or at home. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you want access to an exclusive extra video for every soundtrack review that I make, basically my unfiltered thoughts, what didn't make it to the final cut, consider backing soundtrack reviews on Patreon, where for $1 a show, you get access to that extra video. So as always, thank you for checking out soundtrack reviews, and I'll see you next time.